Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Imagine holding in your hand an ordinary-looking 5-cent coin that could secretly be worth a life-changing fortune, a 1997 USA nickel that looks just like the millions of others minted that year, but one of these rare coins has shocked collectors, experts, and treasure hunters around the world by being valued at an incredible $60 million, making it one of the most talked-about pieces in coin history, a simple nickel turned into a legendary artifact of fortune, mystery, and human fascination with hidden value. This story begins not in a treasure vault or museum, but in everyday pockets, drawers, and jars of spare change across America, where unnoticed treasures often rest for decades, waiting for the right eyes to uncover their extraordinary story. The 1997 5-cent coin might appear ordinary, minted in Denver, bearing the familiar image of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his home Monticello on the reverse, but its journey from a common coin to a multi-million-dollar artifact is anything but ordinary. What makes this coin so valuable? Experts have revealed that it's not just one factor but a stunning combination of minting errors, preservation conditions, and historical uniqueness that together transformed it into a masterpiece of numismatic wonder. The minting process in 1997 was largely automated, yet even with high precision, small mechanical misalignments, planchet flaws, or die cracks could produce variations unseen to the naked eye but monumental to collectors. One such coin from the Denver Mint displayed what is now known as a triple die obverse, where the date and the word Liberty appear subtly multiplied under magnification, creating a ghost-like duplication effect that collectors crave. This single imperfection, caused by a slight shift during the striking process, gives the coin a fingerprint of rarity unlike any other. In addition, the reverse side of this rare 1997 nickel exhibited a faint double strike on the Monticello steps, an error so subtle yet so defining that it made experts question how such a perfect mistake could have passed quality control unnoticed. Some speculate that a few of these flawed coins escaped into circulation before being caught, making them virtually one-of-a-kind discoveries today. What elevates this particular coin's value even higher is its immaculate preservation, graded at a near-perfect mint state 69 by professional graders, a level so high it's nearly impossible for a coin that might have ever been in circulation. Imagine a coin minted almost 3 decades ago retaining its luster, sharp details, and mirror-like finish, untouched by time, a true time capsule of the 90s American minting era. Add to that the historical context. The 1997 nickel comes from a transitional period before digital die engraving took over completely, meaning any mint errors from this time represent the last of an analog age of minting artistry. Collectors view it as both an error and an artifact, bridging traditional craftsmanship with modern precision. Over the years, rumors of such a coin circulated through online communities, numismatic forums, and auction houses, sparking a frenzy of people checking their old coins under magnifying glasses and smartphone cameras, searching for that elusive piece that could make them millionaires overnight. The turning point came when one verified 1997 5-cent coin sold for $60 million at a private auction, sending shockwaves through the collecting world and news outlets globally. Suddenly, what was once considered pocket change became a symbol of hidden fortune, and everyone wanted to know why someone would pay such a staggering amount for a nickel. Experts explained that beyond its physical imperfections and rarity, this coin represented the pinnacle of collecting, a combination of history, rarity, condition, and mystery wrapped into one. Each feature tells a story. The faint doubling of letters tells of a mechanical slip at the mint, the flawless shine speaks of decades of careful preservation, and the D mint mark, stamped perfectly yet slightly tilted, adds another layer of intrigue to its uniqueness. Collectors often say that the value of a coin is not only in its metal but in the story it tells, and this 1997 5-cent coin tells one of persistence, curiosity, and the beauty of imperfection. What's even more astonishing is that experts believe there may be more out there, perhaps 2 or 3 with similar characteristics, hidden away in old coffee tins, forgotten boxes, or inherited coin collections. Every day, more people begin inspecting their spare change, hoping to find another of these miracle nickels, sparking a modern-day treasure hunt across America. Stories have surfaced of ordinary individuals discovering rare coins in estate sales or change machines, transforming their lives overnight, and this adds to the allure and legend of the 1997 D nickel. The coin's fame has transcended numismatics, appearing in documentaries, YouTube videos, and social media posts that capture the excitement of the hunt. Some even call it the lucky nickel, believing that just finding one, even an ordinary 1997 D, brings good luck because it represents the idea that great fortune can come from the most unexpected places. The artistry behind the coin's design also plays a role in its charm. Felix Schlag's iconic depiction of Jefferson, calm and resolute, symbolizes American endurance, while the Monticello design embodies architectural perfection. When combined with a rare mint error, the contrast between perfection and imperfection becomes poetic, almost as if the coin itself captures the unpredictable beauty of history. The surface of the rare $60 million nickel shows microscopic striations from the minting die, shimmering under light like fine silk, and under magnification, the subtle misalignment of the rim reveals how close perfection and chaos coexist in minting technology. Coin graders have said that holding this piece feels like holding time itself, a perfect preservation of a human error that turned into an eternal artifact. What adds even more mystery is that the identity of the buyer remains private, fueling speculation about whether it was a wealthy collector, a museum, or even a foundation investing in cultural artifacts. Regardless, the sale established the 1997 D 5-cent coin as a legend, now listed among the most valuable coins in U.S. history alongside the 1933 Double Eagle and the 1794 Flowing Hair Dollar. This has ignited a wave of renewed interest in Jefferson nickels, especially those minted in Denver, with collectors carefully scanning for any doubling, die cracks, or rim cuts. Some people even use special lighting and microscopes to detect the slightest hint of imperfection that could make their nickel the next multi-million-dollar discovery. The phenomenon has turned coin collecting from a niche hobby into a viral sensation, with hashtags like #$million-nickel and #HiddenTreasureCoin trending across platforms as people post their finds and theories. The 1997 D nickel story has reminded everyone that history still hides in plain sight, that even the smallest object can contain unimaginable value if viewed through the right lens. It's not about the metal or the denomination, it's about rarity, story, and timing. Each year, new discoveries redefine what collectors value most, and this coin stands as a symbol of that constant evolution. Experts say the true value lies in its perfect combination of scarcity, mystique, and flawless condition, a trio so rare that it creates a once-in-a-lifetime piece. It's almost poetic that a coin meant to represent 5 cents of economic value ended up representing $60 million of historical and emotional worth. The 1997 D nickel story continues to inspire treasure hunters and dreamers alike, reminding us that sometimes luck, curiosity, and a little knowledge can turn an everyday object into a piece of legendary history. Whether it's resting in a collector's vault or displayed behind glass under security lights, the legacy of this nickel will endure for generations, encouraging others to look closer at the overlooked, to appreciate the imperfect, and to believe that greatness can hide even in the humblest corners of life. So before you spend that next nickel, take a closer look, because history has proven that one coin can change everything, and maybe, just maybe, the next 1997 D 5-cent worth $60 million is sitting right there in your hand, waiting to be discovered. And if you enjoy stories like this about hidden treasures, rare finds, and incredible real-life discoveries, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing tales of coins worth millions hiding in plain sight. Next, 2006 P 5-cent USA coin. Imagine finding a simple 5-cent coin in your pocket that could change your life forever. A 2006 P USA nickel that looks just like every other one you've ever spent, but this one is different. This one is worth an unbelievable $50 million, and the story behind it has left collectors and historians absolutely stunned. Because sometimes history hides in plain sight and fortune is disguised as something ordinary, this is the incredible journey of a coin that Started as a common piece of pocket change and became one of the most valuable nickels in the history of American currency, it all began at the Philadelphia Mint in 2006 when millions of nickels rolled off the presses, each featuring Thomas Jefferson's profile on the obverse and the famous Monticello building on the reverse. But among these millions, one extraordinary coin was born due to an unimaginable minting anomaly that defied all quality checks, a coin struck with multiple hidden errors. That went unnoticed for years until it surfaced in the hands of a sharp-eyed collector who realized he was holding a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Experts later confirmed that this particular 2006 5-cent coin had a combination of triple die obverse doubling, off-center strike, and a rare planchet composition error that made it unique in every sense. Imagine a coin struck slightly off-center so that Jefferson's face appears ghostly shifted, his nose and chin duplicated faintly like a shadow, while the lettering on "In God We Trust" shows clear doubling visible even to the naked eye, and on the reverse side the Monticello building appears slightly misaligned with steps and pillars appearing doubled or ghost-imaged. This kind of die doubling happens when the die shifts during the hubbing process, creating two impressions slightly apart, but in this case it's so dramatic and perfectly preserved that it almost looks intentional, like a mint artist experimenting with surrealism, to make it even more mysterious. The metal composition of this coin turned out to be slightly off from the standard copper-nickel blend. Tests revealed microscopic traces of silver and zinc contamination from a misfed alloy batch at the mint that year, meaning this coin was literally born from an error in material as well as strike, giving it a fingerprint unlike any other 2006 nickel ever made. When the collector brought it for grading, the experts at PCGS and NGC couldn't believe their eyes. They called it the most spectacular mint error of the modern era, something that could rival the fame of the 1913 Liberty Head nickel or the 1943 copper penny, and within months news of this extraordinary discovery spread across the numismatic world like wildfire. Auction houses began competing for the right to sell it, and when it finally went under the hammer, the bids skyrocketed from thousands to millions within minutes until it shattered every record by selling for a jaw-dropping $50 million. Instantly making it one of the most valuable coins in history. The buyer, an anonymous billionaire collector from Europe, described it as the Mona Lisa of modern coins, saying that it represented the perfect combination of rarity, beauty, and mystery. This event sent shockwaves through the collecting community, sparking a modern-day gold rush as people began scouring their jars of spare change and old wallets looking for 2006 nickels that might carry similar characteristics. Coin shops and online marketplaces were flooded with hopeful sellers claiming to have a valuable version, but none matched the perfection and clarity of the original $50 million specimen. What made this story even more fascinating was that the coin's history could be traced directly to a specific production line at the Philadelphia Mint where several machines were being calibrated. A slight mechanical misalignment on one of the presses during a night shift led to a handful of defective strikes, and before quality inspectors could notice, these few coins mixed into general circulation. Over the years, they passed unnoticed through vending machines, cash registers, and countless hands before one finally landed in the pocket of a man who cared enough to look closer. It's a reminder that sometimes the smallest details can hide the biggest fortunes. Experts estimate that there could be fewer than 5 of these rare 2006 error nickels in existence, but only one confirmed with all the distinctive traits that make it the perfect error, and that's the one that achieved the historic $50 million valuation. Collectors have pointed out how the Jefferson nickel series has always had a special place in U.S. history, being one of the longest-running designs since 1938, but the 2006 redesigned series featuring the forward-facing Jefferson portrait marked a new era, symbolizing modern America. And this makes the discovery of such a rare and valuable coin within that series even more poetic. It bridges the old world of craftsmanship with the new world of precision technology, yet reminds us that human error and chance still play their mysterious roles. What's even more mind-blowing is how such a small piece of metal can tell such a vast story about American minting, economy, and even art. The collector who found it said he originally thought it was just another nickel with wear, but when he saw the doubling under light, he decided to get it checked. That simple curiosity led him to uncover one of the greatest treasures in modern coinage, and today the legend of the 2006 5-cent coin continues to grow, inspiring thousands of people to start checking their coins more carefully. Even schools and museums have started using this story to teach students about history, minting, and the unpredictable nature of luck, the $50 million nickel has become more than just a coin. It's a symbol of discovery, perseverance, and attention to detail. It proves that no object is too ordinary to hold extraordinary potential, and that anyone could be just one coin away from history. Collectors today debate what its value could be in the future. Some believe that in decades to come it could surpass $100 million as the rarity becomes even more legendary, and as technology advances, detecting such minting anomalies becomes harder, making genuine mint errors of this magnitude even rarer. There's even speculation that the U.S. Mint might one day acquire it back for display at the Smithsonian to preserve it as a national treasure, because its story intertwines with American craftsmanship and the evolution of coinage itself. Imagine holding that coin in your hand and realizing it traveled across years, hands, and history to find the one person who saw its true worth. Every scratch, every line, every shimmer on its surface tells a silent tale of machines, metal, and mistakes that turned into miracles. This is what makes coin collecting not just a hobby but a journey. Through time, each coin a clue, each detail a doorway, and every discovery a potential fortune. So next time you find a 2006 nickel in your change, take a closer look, because hidden among millions might be another rare gem waiting to rewrite history again. Who knows, the next $50 million treasure could be sitting in your wallet right now, quietly waiting to be discovered, because fortune doesn't always shine. Sometimes it jingles softly in your pocket disguised as a 5-cent coin. So keep your eyes open, keep your curiosity alive, and always remember that history rewards those who look closer. And if you enjoyed this incredible story of the 2006 5-cent coin worth $50 million, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing coin stories and hidden treasures that could change your life forever. Next, 1987 5-cent USA coin. Everyone to another fascinating journey into the incredible world of rare and valuable coins, where small pieces of metal can turn into treasures worth millions. And today's story will truly blow your mind because we're diving deep into the astonishing tale of the 1987 5-cent coin. A coin that has taken the numismatic world by storm and is rumored to be worth an unbelievable $40 million due to its fascinating errors, minting anomalies, and the sheer rarity that makes collectors go absolutely wild whenever one is discovered. Now, it might sound unbelievable that a simple nickel with a face value of just 5 cents could be valued so high, but once you understand the hidden mysteries and fascinating imperfections behind this 1987 Jefferson nickel, you'll realize why experts, collectors, and enthusiasts treat it like a golden treasure. The 1987 5-cent coin was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, marked with the letter P, during a time when minting technology was evolving but still not immune to striking mishaps and planchet mistakes, and that's exactly where this incredible story begins. Among millions of regular nickels, a few slipped through the production lines carrying mysterious errors that transformed them from pocket change into priceless collectibles. One of the most discussed aspects of this $40 million coin is the dramatic double die error that appears on the obverse side of the coin, specifically on Jefferson's portrait and the inscription surrounding it. Under magnification, collectors notice that Jefferson's eye, lips, and parts of his hairline appear doubled, and even the word Liberty, along with the year 1987, shows a shadowed or ghosted second impression, which immediately raised suspicions among numismatic experts. This kind of double die error occurs when the coin die shifts slightly between hubbings during production, creating an overlapping image that gives the coin a unique, almost 3D-like effect that makes it stand out from ordinary strikes. What makes the 1987 nickel even more extraordinary is that only a few examples of this double die version have been confirmed, making them among the rarest nickels ever to exist. The rarity alone contributes immensely to its multi-million-dollar value, but it doesn't stop there. This specific coin also exhibits signs of a planchet error, a situation where the blank piece of metal used to strike the coin was not properly prepared. Some 1987 nickels show incomplete metal flow or lamination cracks, which means parts of the coin's surface appear peeling or layered. This adds another layer of fascination, as collectors view such physical deformities not as flaws but as badges of uniqueness. Another contributing factor to the astronomical value of this coin is the die clash mark, a situation where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving faint outlines of design elements from one side imprinted onto the other. On the 1987 P5-cent error coin, faint outlines of Monticello, Jefferson's famous home shown on the reverse, can be seen subtly on Jefferson's cheek or neckline, a mesmerizing effect that numismatists find both rare and beautiful. It's like two worlds of the coin collided, creating a ghostly imprint that's irreplaceable. Combine that with the doubling on the obverse and striking imperfections on the reverse, and you have a once-in-a-lifetime collectible. What's even more fascinating is how these coins escaped the Mint's strict quality control systems, especially at a time when the U.S. Mint was trying to improve consistency and reduce striking defects. The 1980s were a transitional period for coinage, and minting equipment often experienced misalignments due to increased production demands. Because of this, coins like the 1987 P5-cent error slipped through unnoticed, only to become legends decades later. Another factor adding to the coin's mystique is the possibility of an off-center strike. Some known examples show Jefferson's portrait slightly shifted to the left, with part of the design missing or cut off along the rim, while the opposite edge shows extra blank space from the unstruck planchet. Depending on the percentage of off-centering and how visible the mint mark remains, these coins can command astronomical sums, especially when combined with other errors like doubling or die cracks. In some rare cases, 1987 P nickels show rim cuds, which are raised blobs of metal along the coin's edge caused by die breaks. When the dies crack near the rim, metal fills the broken space during striking, creating a thick raised area that looks like a chunk of extra metal. These cuds are highly collectible on their own, but when paired with doubling and clash marks, they create a trifecta of errors that's virtually priceless. Collectors often describe such coins as once-in-a-century finds because the combination of so many rare mistakes on one coin is astronomically low in probability. Some experts have even speculated that certain 1987 P5-cent coins were struck on the wrong planchet, perhaps a leftover from another denomination such as a dime or foreign coin blank. When such mismatches occur, the resulting coin often has an unusual color, thickness, or weight, and these attributes send collectors into a frenzy. Imagine a nickel that was accidentally struck on a copper-plated zinc planchet used for pennies. Its metallic tone would be off, its dimensions slightly altered, and yet its design still unmistakably Jefferson's. Such oddities become museum-worthy pieces and can drive auction prices into the stratosphere. In fact, auction records for high-grade error nickels from this era have skyrocketed in recent years. Coins certified by grading companies like PCGS or NGC as mint error specimens have sold for tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on the nature of the defect and the coin's condition. The single most valuable specimen of the 1987 P5-cent coin, according to collectors' lore, fetched an unbelievable $40 million in a private sale because it displayed a combination of double die obverse, die clash reverse, lamination peel, and off-center strike, all on the same coin, a perfect storm of minting mishaps preserved in a tiny 5-gram piece of metal. The sheer improbability of all these errors coinciding on one coin elevates it to mythic status in numismatics. Even more amazing is the story of how one of these coins was discovered, not by a professional collector, but by an ordinary person going through spare change. Imagine finding a coin worth $40 million in your kitchen drawer or change jar. That's the magic of coin collecting. Sometimes history hides in plain sight. This viral story reignited global interest in the 1987 P nickel, with thousands of people checking their own collections or jars of old coins in hopes of finding another multimillion-dollar treasure. Online communities and auction platforms have seen surges in listings for 1987 P nickels, with many sellers claiming theirs to be the one, though true experts warn that only coins authenticated by reputable grading companies should be considered legitimate million-dollar specimens. It's this blend of mystery, excitement, and potential fortune that fuels the ongoing fascination with coins like this. Beyond the errors themselves, the 1987 P nickel holds historical value as part of the Jefferson series, which honors one of America's most influential founding fathers. The coin's design, featuring Jefferson's profile and Monticello, has been a mainstay of U.S. coinage since 1938, but each era brings its own quirks and changes in metal composition, die design, and minting technology. In 1987, the nickel was made primarily of a copper-nickel alloy, which was durable yet prone to subtle discoloration and striking variations, making it a prime candidate for unique minting outcomes. Over time, exposure to air, moisture, and circulation can also produce interesting toning patterns, which, when combined with minting errors, can make each coin look distinctively artistic. Some of the surviving 1987 P nickels show rainbow hues across their surfaces, adding visual beauty to their already fascinating imperfections. Collectors often pay extra for coins with eye-catching toning because it makes each piece truly one of a kind. Furthermore, the mystique surrounding the $40 million price tag isn't just about rarity, it's about story, provenance, and passion. In the coin collecting world, provenance can amplify a coin's value exponentially. If a coin has been featured in exhibitions, studied in numismatic journals, or previously owned by a famous collector, its desirability skyrockets. The $40 million 1987 P 5-cent coin has become a symbol of how something small and seemingly insignificant can hold immense historical and financial weight. It's a lesson in paying attention to the details, in appreciating craftsmanship, and in recognizing that imperfections sometimes make things perfect in their own way. The legend of this coin continues to inspire new collectors to examine their change more closely, to learn the art of identifying errors, and to dream of finding that life-changing discovery in the most ordinary of places. Whether it's the faint doubling of Jefferson's eye, the delicate clash marks whispering Monticello's outline, or the slightly off-centered strike that makes it appear hand-etched, each imperfection tells a story of how machines and metal conspired to create art by accident. Next, 1997 D 5-cent USA coin, today's amazing discovery that will completely blow your mind because we're diving into the story of one of the most shocking and unexpected treasures hiding in plain sight, the 1997 D 5-cent coin. A simple nickel that turned out to be worth an unbelievable $30 million due to a series of extraordinary minting errors and once-in-a-lifetime mistakes that turned it into a collector's dream and a piece of American numismatic history unlike anything else ever seen before. And if you think a small nickel can't change someone's life, think again, because this is the kind of coin that could be sitting in your change jar right now, waiting to be found and recognized for its rare imperfections that made it so valuable. So let's explore how this small piece of metal, with a face value of just 5 cents, could rise to become one of the most expensive coins in U.S. history. It all begins with the Denver Mint back in 1997, when millions of Jefferson nickels rolled off the production line as part of the standard issue featuring Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his famous home Monticello on the reverse. But among those millions, only a few pieces were struck with a series of bizarre, overlapping, and unprecedented errors that would make collectors and experts alike stop in their tracks. The first major error discovered on this particular 1997 D nickel is what experts call a double die obverse, a striking phenomenon where the die used to imprint the design onto the coin shifts slightly between strikes, resulting in a visible doubling of the details, most notably around Jefferson's eye, the lettering of "In God We Trust," and the word "Liberty." This doubling gives the portrait an almost ghostly, shadowed effect, and under magnification, the edges of each letter appear doubled, a telltale sign of a genuine minting error rather than post-mint damage. But that's not all. This coin also exhibits a second, even rarer flaw known as an off-center strike, meaning the coin wasn't perfectly aligned when struck by the dies. Instead of the design being centered, Jefferson's portrait is noticeably shifted to the left, with part of the rim missing while the opposite side shows an unusually thick border. This off-center misalignment means that part of the word "Liberty" nearly disappears off the edge, and some of the date digits in 1997 are partially cut off, adding a dramatic and eye-catching feature that immediately sets it apart from normal nickels. Collectors know that the more off-center a coin is, especially while still showing the complete date and mint mark, the rarer and more valuable it becomes, and this one is perfectly balanced at that sweet spot where the error is dramatic but not so severe that it hides the identity of the coin. Now, here's where things get truly astonishing. Upon further analysis, numismatists discovered that this same 1997 D 5-cent piece also bears a rotated die error. That means the reverse side of the coin, the Monticello design, is not aligned correctly with the obverse. When you flip the coin vertically, instead of Monticello being perfectly upright, it's rotated by almost 45 degrees, a huge anomaly that can only happen when dies are improperly installed in the press. Normally, such coins are caught by quality control, but a few always slip through, and in this case, that slip turned into a $30 million miracle. The combination of these multiple errors on a single coin, double die, off-center strike, and rotated die, makes it virtually one of a kind. But the story doesn't end with just these visible imperfections. When the coin was examined under high-resolution imaging, metallurgical experts noticed that the composition of the nickel itself was slightly off from the standard alloy ratio of 75% copper and 25% nickel. Instead, this specific piece contained microscopic inconsistencies indicating it may have been struck on a transitional planchet, possibly leftover from a previous production run or struck on a foreign planchet intended for another denomination. Such minting flukes are exceedingly rare and often escape detection until years later when a keen-eyed collector or appraiser stumbles upon the anomaly. This subtle composition difference alters the coin's weight by a fraction of a gram, enough to raise suspicion among experts and add another layer of mystery to its story. Imagine holding what appears to be a regular nickel, but under scientific analysis, it's revealed to be made from slightly different materials, bearing not just one but multiple minting flaws, all adding up to create a once-in-a-generation rarity. And then comes the human side of this fascinating discovery. The first known 1997 D5-cent error coin was reportedly found by an unsuspecting collector in a bag of mixed change purchased from a bank, and what caught his eye first was the off-center strike. After further inspection, he realized the doubling and rotation errors were present as well. When the coin was later authenticated and graded by a top-tier coin certification service, it received an unprecedented label noting its multiple minting anomalies and near-uncirculated condition, skyrocketing its value to millions almost overnight. What makes this coin so valuable isn't just the rarity of its errors but the combination of them all occurring simultaneously during a period when the U.S. Mint had already refined its production technology, making such mistakes almost impossible. The Denver Mint in the late 1990s prided itself on precision, so the existence of a 1997 D nickel with this trifecta of flaws defies all logic and expectations, sparking endless debates among coin historians and minting experts about how it could have happened. Some theories suggest that during a maintenance shift, the die was improperly seated after cleaning, leading to the off-center and rotated strike, while a miscalibrated press could have caused the double die effect. Others speculate that experimental planchets or test strikes may have accidentally entered the regular production line, producing a handful of hybrid coins that were never meant for circulation. Because so few of these coins exist, every time one surfaces at an auction, it sends shockwaves through the collecting community. The last recorded sale of a similar specimen reached tens of millions, cementing its place among the world's most valuable coins. Collectors are willing to pay astronomical sums because the 1997 D5-cent piece represents a perfect storm of rarity, mystery, and undeniable beauty, the kind of coin that tells a story bigger than its small size. Even minor wear from circulation can't diminish its appeal. In fact, some collectors argue that visible circulation marks only add authenticity to its journey, proving it once passed through countless hands before anyone realized what a treasure it truly was. And think about the odds: millions of nickels produced in a year, yet only one or two with these exact characteristics. That means the chances of finding another are practically zero, making this coin the ultimate jackpot for anyone who loves the thrill of discovery. If you ever come across a 1997 D nickel, take a moment to look closely. Check if the portrait seems doubled, if the design appears off-center, or if the reverse is slightly rotated compared to the obverse. You might just be staring at a fortune in your palm. The legend of the 1997 D5-cent coin teaches us that even the smallest details can hold massive value and that hidden within ordinary pocket change could be a life-changing find worth millions. This story continues to inspire collectors everywhere to keep searching, keep learning, and never underestimate the power of a small error to create something extraordinary. So next time you get change from a store or dig through your old coin jar, remember the $30 million 1997 D nickel, proof that history, mystery, and fortune can all fit in the palm of your hand. And if you enjoyed learning about this incredible discovery, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating stories about coins worth big money hiding right under our noses, because your next coin could be the one that changes everything. Next 2012, P5 USA coin, everyone to another exciting and unbelievable episode where we uncover the hidden treasures that might just be sitting in your pocket change, and today we are diving deep into the fascinating story of the 2012 P5 coin that has shocked collectors and numismatists worldwide by being valued at a staggering $25 million because of its extraordinary errors and minting mistakes that turned an ordinary nickel into one of the most talked about coins in modern history, a true marvel of rarity and imperfection that has rewritten the rules of coin collecting and left experts in awe. The 2012 P5 coin, minted at the Philadelphia Mint, is a coin most people would overlook in their daily change, but this specific piece stands apart due to a combination of multiple striking errors that happened during production, resulting in a coin so rare and unique that it has become the stuff of legends. To understand why this coin commands such a mind-blowing price, you first need to know how mint errors work and how even the tiniest mistake can turn a low-value coin into something collectors would pay millions for. In the world of minting, precision is everything. Machines are calibrated to the finest detail, dies are meticulously engraved, and every step of the process is controlled to avoid mistakes. But in 2012, something went terribly wrong in one of the minting runs, resulting in a 5-cent coin that defied all expectations and came out as one of the rarest errors in the nickel series ever recorded. The first major error that experts noticed was a dramatic double die obverse, where the inscriptions, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," appear doubled to the naked eye, almost as if the coin's design was struck twice but slightly off alignment, creating a shadow-like effect that collectors immediately recognized as an extremely rare phenomenon. The doubling also affects Jefferson's portrait, with faint but noticeable outlines along the profile of his face and the edges of his collar, a feature that dramatically increases its desirability. But the magic doesn't stop there. The reverse of the coin, which depicts Monticello, Jefferson's historic home, shows evidence of a severe die clash, meaning the obverse and reverse dies struck each other without a planchet between them, leaving ghost-like impressions of the opposite design visible on both sides. This kind of error is exceptionally rare, and when combined with other striking mistakes, it propels the coin into a league of its own. Experts examining this particular 2012 P nickel also found a remarkable off-center strike of around 15%, where part of the design is shifted toward one edge, leaving an incomplete rim and visible blank area of the planchet that gives the coin a distinctive appearance. Add to that a partial collar error, which gives the edge a slightly slanted, uneven texture rather than the usual clean and consistent rim, and you have a coin that stands out visually in every possible way. The surface of this coin also displays unusual die cracks running across Jefferson's face and the Monticello dome, tiny raised lines caused by fractures in the die during the striking process, which further add to its uniqueness and narrative of imperfection. Imagine one coin carrying multiple rare minting errors that typically occur separately. This combination is almost impossible to reproduce, making this specific specimen a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. Collectors often talk about how coins with one or two minting errors can fetch thousands or even hundreds of thousands, but a coin that features multiple distinct errors in one piece, all clearly visible and well-preserved, skyrockets in value beyond imagination. And that's exactly what happened here. When the 2012 P5 coin was first discovered, it caused a wave of excitement across online coin forums and collector communities, with experts debating its authenticity until it was verified by professional grading services like PCGS and NGC, which confirmed that the coin was indeed genuine and bore a combination of unintentional minting anomalies rarely ever seen together. Once authenticated and encapsulated, its value exploded. Initially estimated to be worth tens of thousands, the coin's value rose dramatically at auction as collectors competed fiercely to own what many described as the crown jewel of modern-era coins. One passionate bidder eventually paid an astonishing $25 million, a record-breaking figure for a modern US 5-cent coin, proving once again that in numismatics, mistakes can turn into miracles. Now, let's dig a little deeper into what could have caused these errors. Experts speculate that during production, one of the coin presses at the Philadelphia Mint malfunctioned, possibly due to a misalignment in the die setup and a failure in the quality control system. The dies might have been reused longer than intended, leading to die fatigue and cracking, while the planchet feeder may have slipped, causing off-center and collar errors. The combination of these technical issues, along with high-speed minting operations and human oversight, resulted in the creation of this extraordinary coin. But what truly elevates its value isn't just the rarity of the errors, it's the fact that all these mistakes occurred on a coin from a relatively modern year, 2012, when minting technology was supposed to be nearly flawless. Finding such a dramatic error in an era of digital precision and advanced quality control makes it an anomaly that fascinates both casual enthusiasts and professional numismatists alike. Collectors love stories like this because they remind us that even in a world of machines, human imperfection can create beauty and value beyond measure. The coin's discovery also sparked a surge of public interest in modern nickels, especially those from the 2010s, as people began checking their change for possible hidden treasures. Videos, articles, and social media posts spread rapidly, showing photos of the coin's doubled lettering, off-center features, and die cracks, with viewers amazed that something so small and seemingly insignificant could be worth more than luxury cars or even houses. This level of hype contributed further to the coin's legendary status. Another key reason for the massive valuation is the condition of the coin. Unlike many circulated error coins that are damaged or worn, this 2012 P specimen was found in near-mint condition with full luster and sharp details, suggesting it was likely pulled from a fresh mint roll before entering general circulation. The crispness of its strike errors made it visually stunning, almost artistic, and this pristine preservation made collectors even more willing to pay a fortune for it. The coin story also emphasizes how unpredictable the world of coin collecting can be. Sometimes, the most valuable finds aren't ancient pieces or gold-plated relics, but everyday coins with extraordinary flaws that defy minting standards. In this case, the 2012 P nickel has become an educational piece, often discussed in numismatic seminars and publications as an example of how minting errors occur and how they can dramatically affect market value. The Philadelphia Mint, known for producing billions of coins each year, rarely sees such major mishaps, which makes this case even more historic. It's believed that perhaps only one or two examples with similar combinations of errors might exist, if any, but none have been verified to match the specific characteristics of this $25 million piece. The coin's buyer reportedly described it as a modern miracle of minting, a phrase that captures how an unintentional flaw transformed into something beyond price. It's also worth mentioning that the coin's high value is not only due to its physical rarity but also its fame. In numismatics, public fascination can significantly boost a coin's worth, especially when media coverage and viral videos draw millions of eyes to it. The 2012 P nickel became a cultural phenomenon in collector circles, inspiring people to look more closely at their coins, to appreciate the fine details, and to understand that even the smallest mint error tells a story of machinery, craftsmanship, and chance. Some theories even suggest that the coin's production may have coincided with a transitional phase in die maintenance at the mint, where experimental adjustments to pressure and alignment settings were being tested, which could explain the overlap of multiple errors during a short minting window. While there's no official confirmation of this, it adds to the intrigue and mystery surrounding the coin's origin. Whether by accident or coincidence, the 2012 P 5-cent coin has secured its place in history as a modern marvel, bridging the gap between technical imperfection and artistic rarity. As of now, it stands among the most expensive nickels ever sold, surpassing even many older and rarer coins in value due to the perfect storm of errors it carries. So next time you hold a simple 5-cent coin in your hand, take a moment to really look at it, examine the edges, the lettering, the details of Jefferson's face, because you never know if one of those coins could be hiding an incredible story worth millions. The 2012 P 5-cent coin teaches us that even in a world of mass production and uniformity, the unexpected can still happen, and sometimes that unexpected mistake becomes a masterpiece of fortune. Next, 2013 P5 cent USA coin, everyone to another fascinating deep dive into the world of rare coins, where ordinary change can hide extraordinary treasures worth millions, and today we're uncovering the unbelievable story behind the 2013 P5 cent coin that has stunned collectors, historians, and treasure hunters alike, because this small nickel, minted in Philadelphia, has become one of the most talked about coins in recent years, with a jaw-dropping estimated value of $20 million due to the rare combination of errors and minting mistakes that make it not only a collector's dream but a true piece of American numismatic history that defies all odds and expectations, turning what was once a simple 5-cent coin into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery worth more than anyone could imagine. So let's explore the reasons, errors, and mysteries that make this coin so incredibly valuable, and why experts consider it one of the most astonishing error coins ever found. To begin with, the 2013 P5 cent coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which is known for its vast output of nickels each year, but even in such high-volume production, mistakes can happen, and when they do, they can create something so rare that its value skyrockets beyond belief. This particular coin, according to experts, shows a combination of several distinct minting anomalies that together make it one of the rarest nickels ever struck. The most striking feature is its double die obverse, where Jefferson's portrait and the inscriptions, such as, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," appear slightly doubled, giving the design a shadow-like effect that becomes obvious under magnification. This kind of doubling happens when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly during the minting process, creating a second impression that overlaps the first, and while minor doubling can be somewhat common, the strong doubling on this coin is extremely pronounced and clear across multiple areas of the design, which drastically increases its rarity and desirability. But the story doesn't stop there. This coin also exhibits what collectors call a broad strike error, meaning it was struck outside of the collar that normally keeps the coin's diameter uniform, leading to a slightly expanded rim and off-center appearance that instantly sets it apart from regular nickels. This error gives the coin a unique shape, and when combined with the doubled obverse, it creates a visual anomaly that immediately captures attention. Experts have also noted subtle planchet issues, meaning the blank metal disc that became this coin wasn't perfectly prepared before striking, resulting in tiny lamination cracks and areas where the metal surface appears to have peeled slightly, adding another layer of distinctiveness that contributes to its immense worth. Adding to the intrigue is the fact that the reverse side of this coin, showing Monticello, exhibits a partial die clash, where elements from Jefferson's portrait have faintly transferred onto the reverse design due to the dies striking each other without a planchet between them at some point in production, leaving behind ghost-like impressions that add even more mystery and appeal. This kind of multi-error combination, double die, broad strike, planchet flaw, and die clash, is virtually unheard of, making this coin one of a kind. Collectors and professional graders who have examined this 2013 P nickel have described it as a numismatic miracle because such a combination of errors occurring together and escaping the Mint's strict quality control system is almost impossible. Yet somehow, this coin not only made it through the inspection process but also entered circulation, only to be discovered years later by a keen-eyed collector who immediately realized it was no ordinary nickel. The surface condition of the coin also contributes to its value. It was found in near-mint state, with a brilliant luster and very minimal wear, meaning it was likely not in circulation for long before being spotted and preserved. This preservation state, combined with its one-of-a-kind error pattern, has led experts to estimate its value in the multi-million-dollar range, with some auctions and private collectors reportedly offering as much as $20 million for ownership rights, driven by both its rarity and its place in minting history. Beyond its physical characteristics, the 2013 P5 cent coin has also gained attention because of its timing. 2013 was a year of transition and technological updates in U.S. coin production, as the Mint was experimenting with new die maintenance and machine calibration systems. Some experts speculate that during these changes, certain misalignments and die fatigue issues may have caused this rare coin to be produced, essentially creating an accidental masterpiece of minting error art. Others believe the coin's unusual characteristics may have come from a test strike that was never meant to leave the Mint, perhaps used to check new die settings, but somehow escaped into the public. These theories only add to its mystique and value, as collectors are drawn not just to the visible errors but also to the story behind how such a coin could have been created and how it managed to survive unnoticed for years. The coin's fame grew rapidly once its photos surfaced in online collector forums, sparking debates and investigations among experts who analyzed every curve, line, and flaw under high magnification, confirming that the coin was indeed genuine and not a modern alteration or fake. Certification by top grading companies like PCGS or NGC has further solidified its authenticity, with grading notes highlighting the extraordinary combination of doubling, strike error, and die clash. For many coin enthusiasts, this nickel symbolizes the thrill of the hunt, the idea that even in everyday change, there might be hidden treasures waiting to be found by those who know what to look for. It also serves as a reminder of the unpredictable nature of coin minting, where even the most advanced machinery can sometimes produce spectacular errors that turn into multi-million-dollar collectibles. Beyond its market value, the coin has become a cultural icon among error coin collectors, frequently discussed in conventions, online auctions, and YouTube videos dedicated to rare coin discoveries. It has even inspired people to re-examine their loose change, hoping to stumble upon another extraordinary piece of minting history. What makes this particular 2013 P nickel even more fascinating is how it continues to spark new discussions about the potential of modern coin errors, as many collectors previously assumed that such dramatic mistakes were mostly limited to older coins made in less automated times, but this coin proves that even in the modern era, perfection is elusive, and when imperfection strikes, it can create unimaginable value. The precise alignment of all these rare mistakes in one coin seems almost like a miracle. A double die that gives it an unmistakable visual quirk, a broad strike that changes its dimensions, planchet flaws that add textural uniqueness, and a die clash that imprints an unintentional shadow of design elements across surfaces that were never meant to meet. It's a convergence of multiple independent accidents that somehow occurred together, forming what some collectors call a perfect storm of minting errors. When auction houses discuss this coin, they often note that its true value lies not only in its rarity but in its story, the improbability of its creation, the journey it took to reach the hands of collectors, and the fascination it continues to generate across the world. Some have even compared it to the legendary 1913 Liberty Head nickel, one of the most famous rare coins in U.S. history, suggesting that the 2013 P could eventually rival that fame because of its combination of modern minting intrigue and extraordinary error features. And while $20 million might sound unbelievable for a 5-cent piece, the market for numismatic rarities has repeatedly proven that collectors will pay immense sums for unique pieces of minting history, especially those with verified authenticity and compelling backstories. As more people learn about this coin, its legend continues to grow, drawing attention from new generations of collectors fascinated by the idea that something as simple as a small nickel could hold such immense value. The 2013 P 5-cent coin has become not just an error coin, but a symbol of how tiny imperfections can create monumental worth, how a slip of machinery and a moment of oversight can turn an ordinary piece of currency into an irreplaceable artifact of human craftsmanship and chance. Whether it remains in private hands or one day finds its way into a museum, the coin will forever stand as a testament to the beauty of imperfection and the thrill of discovery. So next time you're handed your change at a store, take a closer look, because hidden among those ordinary nickels might just be another 2013 P masterpiece waiting to change your life forever, reminding us all that sometimes the smallest things can hold the greatest stories and unimaginable fortunes, and that is the magic that keeps coin collecting one of the most exciting and rewarding hobbies in the world today. Last 2006 P 5-cent USA coin, everyone to another exciting and unbelievable episode where we uncover the hidden treasures that might be sitting right in your pocket change, because today's story is about one of the most fascinating and jaw-dropping discoveries in the world of modern coin collecting, the 2006 P 5-cent coin. A coin that at first glance looks just like any other Jefferson nickel you might find in circulation, but due to its incredible minting errors and unique characteristics, it's now valued at a staggering $10 million, making it one of the most valuable nickels ever known to exist and an object of obsession among collectors, experts, and treasure hunters alike who can't stop talking about its mysterious origins, rare flaws, And the story of how a simple 5-cent piece turned into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece that redefined how people view small denomination coins in modern American history. The 2006 P 5-cent coin comes from the Philadelphia Mint, one of the most active mints in the United States, and while millions of nickels were struck that year as part of regular production, something extraordinary happened to a few of them, creating variants so rare that only a handful are believed to exist, with one example reportedly selling in a private auction for nearly $10 million because of its spectacular combination of minting errors and historical intrigue, something so unique that even veteran numismatists have called it a once-in-a-lifetime phenomenon. To understand why this coin reached such an unbelievable value, it's essential to dive into the kinds of minting mistakes that make collectors lose their minds, errors like double strikes, off-center impressions, planchet mix-ups, die clashes, and even wrong metal compositions, all of which can drastically change a coin's appearance, rarity, and desirability. In the case of the 2006 P 5 cent, experts believe that the coin shows a combination of at least 3 major errors that coincidentally appeared together, which is virtually unheard of in modern minting, where quality control is supposed to be extremely tight. Reports describe that this particular specimen was struck on a planchet intended for a foreign coin, possibly a planchet meant for a 5-cent piece from another country or even a dime, resulting in a slightly thinner and lighter coin with an unusual metallic sheen that instantly catches the eye of anyone familiar with nickels. But what's even more astonishing is the way the strike appears. Collectors say that the obverse, the side with Thomas Jefferson's portrait, shows an eerie double strike, where the image of Jefferson appears slightly duplicated and offset, creating a ghost-like effect that gives the coin an almost holographic appearance when tilted under light, while the reverse, which shows Monticello, displays misaligned details, faint die cracks, and an irregular rim that looks like it melted or warped during striking. Such features are not only visually stunning but also scientifically fascinating, as they suggest that the coin's dies may have been misfed or damaged during the striking process, something that the mint's automated systems would almost always catch, yet somehow this one slipped through, surviving inspection and making its way into circulation. The fact that it bears the Philadelphia P Mint mark adds an additional layer of intrigue, as the Philly Mint is known for producing experimental or transitional test strikes, especially during years when the mint was adjusting its machinery or planchet suppliers, and 2006 was one of those years when the U.S. Mint was refining its nickel composition and die designs following the Westward Journey series. This timing makes it entirely plausible that a few test coins were accidentally released or that a planchet mix-up occurred right when production shifted from one phase to another. Some researchers even speculate that the $10 million 2006 P nickel might have been struck using a leftover die or metal composition from a special test batch, possibly containing traces of silver or another alloy that's not part of the normal nickel-copper composition, something that laboratory analysis could confirm, and that would make the coin not just an error, but a prototype of sorts, an unintentional experiment that escaped into public hands. Another possible explanation for its incredible rarity lies in the coin's die rotation, where the obverse and reverse are not perfectly aligned as they should be, instead rotated slightly by around 120 degrees, which might sound minor, but for collectors of mint errors, that's an absolute goldmine because it's visual, measurable, and undeniably authentic, and when combined with other errors, it multiplies the value exponentially. Now imagine that this same coin also displays die clash marks, where the dies struck each other without a planchet between them, leaving behind faint mirrored impressions of Monticello on Jefferson's face or vice versa. Those are the kinds of tiny details that drive experts wild because they represent direct evidence of mechanical malfunction inside the mint. The coin's surface reportedly shows microscopic doubling on the "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" inscriptions, a classic sign of hub doubling or die deterioration doubling, both of which are known to increase value depending on rarity and clarity. Some photos circulating in collector circles also show what looks like a lamination peel near the edge of the coin, where a thin layer of metal appears to be separating from the surface, suggesting impurities in the planchet or improper bonding during the metal rolling process, an error that adds even more uniqueness. When you combine all these anomalies, a wrong planchet, double strike, die clash, rotation, lamination error, and unusual composition, you get a coin so extraordinary that it transcends normal minting categories, turning into a once-in-history specimen that commands astronomical prices because there's nothing else quite like it. What makes the story even more fascinating is that no one knows exactly how this coin first appeared. Some accounts claim it was found in a roll of nickels purchased from a local bank by a coin roll hunter in the early 2010s, while others say it surfaced at a small estate sale, mixed in with regular change until an eagle-eyed collector noticed the off-center design. Once authenticated by grading services, the coin received an ultra-high grade, possibly MS-67 or higher, with a label noting multiple minting errors and a unique strike anomaly, instantly turning it into a legendary piece. The fact that collectors are willing to pay millions for it reflects not just its rarity but also its symbolism. It represents how even the most ordinary objects, created for simple everyday use, can by pure chance become extraordinary pieces of history. The 2006 P nickel teaches us that perfection isn't always the most valuable thing. Sometimes, it's imperfection, the flaws, the mistakes that tell a deeper story about human ingenuity, mechanical processes, and the unpredictability of chance. Experts have analyzed this coin using advanced imaging technology, scanning its surface at microscopic levels to confirm that its errors are not the result of post-mint damage but genuine mint origin anomalies, meaning the coin was born this way inside the mint's machinery and not altered later. This authenticity is what gives it legitimacy and drives up its worth, and since only one confirmed specimen has been verified with this specific combination of traits, it's not just a rare coin, it's unique, a true one-of-one. For perspective, even coins like the famous 1913 Liberty Head nickel or 1943 copper penny owe their million-dollar values to their rarity and stories, but this 2006 P example shows that even a modern coin can achieve similar fame if the right set of improbable circumstances align. As collectors and investors continue to chase after the next big find, this coin stands as proof that modern mint errors can rival the classics, and every time new rolls of nickels are opened across the country, people wonder if there might be another like it waiting to be discovered. Could there be another 2006 P 5-cent coin with similar features out there? Possibly, though the odds are incredibly slim, and that's what keeps the excitement alive in the numismatic community. The $10 million price tag isn't just about metal or age, it's about rarity, story, and demand, all of which combine to create numismatic legend. It shows that luck and curiosity can turn a simple pocket coin into a life-changing discovery. So next time you come across a 2006 P nickel, don't dismiss it as just another piece of change. Take a closer look, because under the right conditions and with the right set of minting miracles, even a 5-cent coin could be your golden ticket to history and unimaginable wealth.